we are recording. Hello, Chuck.
Good morning, Doug.
So we're pretending like we haven't spoken for a while because I just
Well,
started the recording.
actually, we haven't for a while. It's been almost 10 months. So
True, true, except for the phone conversation we had an hour ago.
there you go.
So I'm gonna summarize the your status back. I guess it was 10 months ago then, since you just mentioned that I helped set up a new computer for you and transferred stuff from your old computer to your new one. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, that was
Okay.
about April of last year.
So it's been less than a year, and I think you purchased that computer yourself. Is that right?
Yes, I bought this computer through Amazon, and it ended up being shipped from a company up in Kent, Washington. Um, and at the end of 9 months, thereabout, it literally failed. The hard drive died. And or 11 months, somewhere in that vicinity. But they were kind enough to have me send me a label, and I shipped it back to them. It took me about 10 days to get it back after several phone calls reminding them that I needed it. But anyway, it finally came, and I ended up getting what appears to me a completely different computer, but exactly the same model. So I
Okay.
do I do credit them for taking care of it at no charge
Great.
so
Great.
far.
But whatever you had on that computer is lost.
Yeah, it's completely gone. Fortunately, all of that information is currently on my older computer, which is
Okay.
a Windows 7 device, which can't be updated, of course. And when the hard drive in the computer that I had purchased literally died, you couldn't do a single thing with it. It wouldn't. Uh, it it just kept telling me, "Please install the hard drive." And
All
I
right.
said, well, I've got one in there. But anyway, they wanted me to take it out and send it to them, and I couldn't. I, I was on a video conference with them, and I showed them pictures of it, and they said, well, just send the whole thing back. So that's what I did.
Okay. So I see that I still have a connection capability configured for your old computer. So we're going to set up a remote connection for your new computer,
Okay,
and then we'll transfer the files from your old computer to the new one and do whatever other configurations we need to do.
super.
And now, back when we did this 10 months ago, whatever it was,
Hmm.
uh, you had to pay me for that.
Oh, boy. Yeah,
and now and now we're doing it through my YouTube free support, to where you won't have to pay for it, in exchange for you helping me create content on YouTube that can be of benefit to other people, and which is essentially advertiser supported through YouTube.
you
So
got it.
that's how it
I'm all for
works.
it.
All right, very good. So I'm going to switch to another screen, and I think I'm gonna be making a couple adjustments here because I got something new I wanted to see if I can get this working. So here I just punched a button that takes me to the screen to connecting to you, and I want to make the Zoom session visible on this screen. I think I am set up to be able to do that here. Hit a couple buttons. Yeah, that worked out pretty good. So you can't see what I'm displaying on the video right now, but you will eventually when you go to watch the video. So let's
Okay,
see, I'm going to start by connecting to your old computer.
okay.
And then we'll set up a connection to your new computer. Um, you don't have anything personally private visible on your desktop screen for the old computer right now, do you?
No, it's just sitting here with a whole bunch of icons. Uh,
Okay.
I see Computer Age Consulting just popped up.
Yep. And you see the mouse moving on your screen?
I sure do.
Okay. So now let's go make a connection to your new computer.
Okay.
And I'll need you to go to the website logmein123.com
On the new computer?
on the new computer.
Okay, let me get to some place where I can do that. I guess it'll work there. And what was the thing you want me to put
Yeah, the
in?
website I want you to go to, if you in the address bar of a browser, if you'll type in www.logmein123.com.
Let's see if I did that right.
And it should ask you for a 6-digit PIN code.
Yes, they did.
Okay, so the PIN code 700769.
And click Start Download. Okay.
That might be downloading a file to the bottom left corner of your screen, depending upon what browser you're using.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, and so
Open the file.
Yep.
Okay. It's connecting to Computer Age Consulting. There's a little box on the right-hand side that says Computer Age User Account Control is enabled on this PC. Please click OK to allow Rescue to do.
Yes.
Elevate.
Yes.
Click on OK. There it is. Okay. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Waiting for the technician.
Okay. Now I do a couple clicks here. And you probably have another prompt now.
Mm-hmm. Click OK.
Yep.
Got it.
Okay. Do you see the mouse moving on your new computer?
Sure do.
All right. So I'm going to minimize this window and we'll get a little acquainted with your new computer.
All right.
All right. So I see a LibreOffice VLC media player. So is this how the computer came, or did you add some things to it?
No, basically that's all that was there. I
Okay.
think this jigsaw thing I did handle. That occupies some of my time.
Fine.
I think that's the only one, Doug.
Okay. And I see that it is connected to a Microsoft account.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I'm going to do a couple clicks on my side to upload some tools that help me with the work that I'm going to be doing. So I'm selecting that on my side, and then I'm coming back to your computer, and I'll make the selections on your side for where I want to store that. I'm creating a folder on your C drive called SW Setup, which is a folder name that essentially is a way that HP does things, but I've just kind of adopted that for all the computers I work on to give some consistency. And here we have an indication that it's receiving a file, so that's going to take a little while. Now I'm going to switch back to your old computer and check to see some stuff that I may have put on it previously. So Windows key and the letter E to bring up Windows Explorer, then expand the computer, then expand the C drive, and there is no SW Setup folder. I'm going to look to see if I've got my files stored somewhere else. Could be, yep, in drivers. I've got this folder called DougBetts Tools. And oh, looks like I had fewer tools back then, or maybe I wound up deleting them. That may be the case. See how we're doing on drive space. So we've got about 204 gigabytes of occupied space. We're not going to be trying to copy all of that across. I see that I do have Fab's auto backup, which is part of what I would use to do this. And then I'm looking to see if I actually have your profile already in place, and no, we don't. That's okay. I think probably what we'll do is use Fab's auto backup to transfer your user profile from the old computer to the new one directly over your network connection. And let's consider this. Do we have a network share already set up? Sharing. Not shared. So I'm going to share the C drive of your old computer onto your local network. And I already know the username and password for your computer, so I'm not going to do anything special with permissions. Well, let me check one thing here. I think I do want to, yes, I want to add full control. And then close that. Close this window. I'm going to switch back to your new computer and see we're 33% done on that. And I see there's Google Chrome, there's Microsoft Edge. Do you have a browser preference?
Well, when I set up the new computer in the past, whatever I was using as a browser or something of that sort, maybe that is not the right terminology. When I would go from page to page, for example, let's take an example. If I go on to my banking as an example, I'd click on banking to open it. And the first thing, after I put in my password and everything, the first thing that would come up would be an advertisement. Then I would have to clear the advertisement, and then it would allow me to go on to my banking as an example. And that happened with almost everything that I did, whether it would be Facebook, YouTube, or anytime that I'd want to look at something, I had to look at an ad first. And I don't know whether or not it was because I picked a browser that was loaded with ads or something. So what I would like to do on my new computer now is try to alleviate as many pop-ups as I can, because it completely destroys your rhythm.
Sure.
And I don't know whether or not that's possible or not, Doug.
Yes, it is. And that typically happens because of browser extensions that get installed into a browser by virtue of going to a website that irresponsibly or flagrantly adds things to your browser. We get so much free resources over the internet, and as you know, there is no free lunch, so somebody is paying for it.
Right.
So a lot of the free things that we can find on the internet, they're trying to draw you in to utilize their so-called free services, and in exchange for that, they slip in a browser extension or something that exposes you to advertising somewhere. Now, there are ways to control that and reduce that, and it's significant to be aware of what you can do on your side for managing that. So we could, whatever work we do with your computer during our sessions over the next few days, you very well could have advertisements coming up in the future by virtue of some websites that you went to and they installed some extensions. Well, then we just need to go uninstall them, and it will be really, really useful and beneficial if we can make another video to show people how to do that, how to turn those things off.
Well, that I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Because,
So when you find that you're coming across advertisements that you don't want to see, just be sure that you know how you can reproduce that to demonstrate it to me, and then we'll make a video on how to remove that or fix it.
and I'm all for it.
All right.
I greatly look forward to some additional sessions to make your computer work a great deal less invasive.
Good.
Finding information is one thing, but when you're looking for information, you don't. Boy, I hate to be bothered by other stuff. Thanks for that offer, but I'll certainly take you up on it.
Yeah, very good. Okay. So for the people who are watching this video at a later time, we're going to be doing some things probably during these sessions that are going to take a while to do, such as this uploading of my utility tools to Chuck's computer. So for those of you watching the video, you should be familiar with how to drag the scrubber bar at the bottom of your video forward, or double tap on the right side to advance by several seconds at a time. Or there's also the gear icon typically in the bottom right corner of the video that you could choose a faster speed to play back the video. But we're going to be showing pretty much live, real-time, the work that's needed to get Chuck set up on the new computer.
Super.
So when this finishes, it's uploading a zip file to your computer, and then I'm going to extract the contents of that zip file. And there's a lot of things that are in my tool kit that we're not going to be using during our sessions, but the one that we're really shooting for right off the bat is Fab's Auto Backup. It allows us to copy the user profile from your old computer to the new computer. So that includes your documents folder and your pictures and your My Videos folder. So there, that just finished with that upload. So then I'm going to go to Windows Explorer by clicking on the manila envelope down on the taskbar, and then expand the C drive, and then expand the SW setup folder, and single left click on the SW setup folder. Then I'll right click on DougBetts Tools, and there's a little zipper on that file folder. That's what tells us it's a zip file, and I'm going to choose Extract All. Now if I were to double click on that zip folder, it would show me the contents of it. And I can actually run some of those programs from the compressed zip file, but it's better to extract them and use them in their native form. So I just automatically do that.
Now that procedure is over my head, but
Hello, Nancy.
Nancy, Doug says hello.
Hello back.
He could see you.
Yeah.
Well,
Hello.
that ends my sneaking around.
Yeah, I caught you. Let's see, back to here. And so that has finished. So then here's Fab's Auto Backup. So I have a license for Fab's Auto Backup, and I'm going to be applying that license. Going to here to launch it. And actually, before I do that, let's get the remote connection to the old computer. So I'm going to switch back to the old computer and find out what the computer name is. So I'll right click on this PC from the, now wait a minute, is that the old computer?
No, you're working.
That's
Everything's happening on the new computer right now.
Yeah, that's the new one. Yeah, I clicked on the wrong one because the old computer is Windows 7.
All right.
Then I'll open Windows Explorer and then right click on Computer, choose Properties. And right here I see the name of this computer is Owner-PC. So now I switch back to your new computer, hold down the Windows key and press the letter R, brings up the run command, 2 backslashes, and then the name of the computer, owner-PC, and press enter. And then it wants me to enter the credentials for that computer. And I almost remember the credentials. Go back and look at my memory trigger. Okay. And then username of owner. And remember credentials. And it doesn't like that. Windows 10 to Windows 7 networking, I believe, does not like to do that without a password. You don't have a password on your old computer. So what I'm going to do to deal with that is create a user account that has a password, so I'll be able to use that. So on the old computer, I'm using Windows R, and then control panel, enter, scroll down to users, user accounts, and open that, and then manage another account first to see if there already is another account. Oh yes, there's an account on there called Xfer, and that sounds like something I would have created for transferring from your old computer to your new computer last time we did this.
Mm-hmm.
So where do I have any notes showing me what that password was? I don't think I do. That's hard to believe. So let me look a little bit more in my notes, because I looked earlier before we began this session thinking that I should have records from that last time we worked on this. Oh, I think you told me that we did this in person. I came over to your house.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I might not have done that. You know what? I can just change this password because the account that we're logged in with is a admin account. So yeah, I'm just going to put in a new password. Okay, then switch back over to the new computer, Windows key R, and it remembers what I tried to run last time, so just press enter. And it's not letting me even put in a username, so I'm going to try another approach. I'll left click on network. How about the menu option up here for network? Properties, network, and sharing center. Oh, this is the new computer says public network. I won't be able to connect to anything on public network, so I have to change that from public network to private network. And that's not show available, change adapter, and none of those are quite the right option for doing that. I'm on the status page. I'm going to go down here, right click, choose open network and internet settings. I'll go ahead and try clicking here and see if, yeah, that got me to it, private network. And then also I'm going to switch back to the old computer and check on that. So in the sys tray in the bottom right corner, I'll click on the icon to expand that and go to the network icon, which looks like a computer monitor. right click on it, choose Open Network and Sharing Center, and it is set for Home Network. I'd rather that be set for Work Network. Home Network is a type of network that never really got off the ground. And so I'm not sure how Windows 10 will interact with that, but I'm sure our chances are better as a work network. So then go back to the new computer. Windows key R, enter, still not happy. Oh, okay, I know another piece. Let's do yeah, you've got that set as a Microsoft account, which Windows 7 is not going to recognize very well.
You know, that Rots Riley at Outlook.com was something that I created when I got this new computer back from Kent, Washington, and I had never used Outlook before, so that could be creating a problem for you.
Oh, yeah. Well, if that's not a valid email address for you, then let's just dump that, because that's going to cause you more grief than anything.
Yeah. In order to make something work, I had to create that, and it was a little out of my my house, so I did it, and I created the password and the phone number that they verified, and then I established a PIN number.
Yeah.
So hopefully
that means this computer is logging in with a Microsoft account. You've got a PIN number, so when you start this computer up, you enter the PIN number rather than a password.
Right.
And when you set up a Windows 10 computer, if you don't know how to get around it, it kind of forces you into using a Microsoft account. And there are some nuisances and disadvantages to that. It's a little bit of a sore spot for
that. Yes,
people.
I discovered that, and I didn't want to, but in order to do it, I thought, well, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And,
it's difficult to figure out how to get around that if you're not familiar with how to do it. So what we'll do over here is we're going to change this to have this new computer sign in with a local account instead of a Microsoft account. And that is, I think, going to be long-term a better functionality for you.
Okay.
So by changing this to a local account, we get this message here. Now, Microsoft doesn't want us to do this, so they put in some messages here that are probably going to be kind of discouraging. Are you sure you want to switch to a local account? Windows works better when you sign in with Microsoft. In their opinion, switching to a local account means you won't see your personalized settings on all your devices, and you might be asked to sign in again if you want to access info associated with your account. If you still want to continue, go to the next step to verify your identity. Now, I have multiple computers, and I like for them to be in touch with each other, essentially. And so I do use Microsoft accounts on some of my devices. But you're mainly going to be using this one computer. And I doubt that you're even going to be using Microsoft 365 for Word and Excel. I see that you have LibreOffice, but I think this computer came with it. Do you recollect that you were using Word or Excel on the old computer?
No, I really... Word is where you write letters and things, isn't it?
Right.
I don't write letters on there.
And LibreOffice is a work alike. Think of it like it's a generic. Instead of buying a brand name, there's generic products you can get from the grocery store. So if you want to do a letter, you can do it with LibreOffice without paying the price that Microsoft requires.
Okay.
So I'm going to click next, And then for security, so we need you to type in your PIN number here. You do not need to pronounce it out loud since you might use that PIN number for other purposes in your life.
Put it on my numerical keyboard here.
That should work fine as long as the numlocks is active. Okay. So then it's wanting us to put in a username and password for the local account. Now on your old computer, you weren't using a password at all.
No.
And we don't have to have a password for a local account. Is
We
your
do.
preference to have a password or not?
Well, I used on this old computer to access it. Every time it would turn on, I would just put in a 4-digit number. Oh, wait a minute. On the new computer, I just put in a 4-digit number.
On the new computer, it's a 4-digit number. On the old computer, I don't think you were putting in any password.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So username, what kind of a username should I use?
Well, let's consider what on the old computer your username was owner.
Okay.
And that was probably just a default. I like Chuck.
Okay.
Coincidentally, that's your name.
Yeah. Let's use that.
Okay. And we'll leave no password and click next. Now, Chuck local account, you're almost done. Make sure you save your work before you sign out. Don't actually want to sign out yet. Such a local account. Can we do? Well, actually, yes, we do. Yeah, because this isn't creating a new account. So yeah, that's fine.
Now, when I go to right here with now here's where I put in the numeric number that I.
That's what you were doing. You do not need to do that anymore.
Oh, okay.
So you just click sign in. You don't have to enter a PIN number or a password.
Okay.
And your home network is not exposed to the internet, meaning your computer is not accessible by hackers through the internet because you're using a router probably from Comcast or SBC Global, AT&T.
Right now it's Comcast.
Okay. So that gets us logged in with a local user account. And if I go to your user profile here, it just shows Chuck. And I want to see if that changed your profile folder name. I'm going to users. And no, it still shows your original abbreviated username, which I need that if I connect remotely to your new computer. That's the only time we care about that. All right, now I'm going to try Windows key R and see how we're doing with connecting to owner-PC. Still not accessible. That's not a surprise. I don't think we've done enough yet. Check to see if we're still on a private network. Yes, we are. And we have no password on either side, but it's not been giving me a prompt for a username on the old computer. So if I go to Map Network Drive, that should do it. So I'll go into Windows Explorer, and I think the Home button, and then not a network choice there. How about click network here? There I've got owner PC showing up. And here's the network menu option up here. Okay, network and sharing. Connect with remote desktop. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Let's try double clicking on this one. Let's see if if I can get somewhere with it. No. Right click on it. No. Add devices and printers. View printers. Networking, sharing. That's not going to be what I want. And remember, I found a way in here somewhere in the past where I need to make it let us put in the username and password again. Connect with remote, no, no, no. Don't think it would be this, but I'm going to try, no. Okay, I'm going to restart your computer and see if that'll let me
Okay.
re-authenticate to your old computer. So I can give that restart command from here, so that temporarily disconnects my remote session while your computer's restarting. When your computer gets to the point where you would click on that sign in button, I can connect at that point and actually click on that button myself.
Okay. So when it, okay, it's,
Yeah, don't click on it.
no,
I'll connect to it and click on that button. I've got a message on my side saying it's still rebooting.
it looked like it's up and up.
Well, you may be seeing the desktop now, and it might not have actually established connection to me again.
Oh.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
Now I've got a remote control session button, clicking. And I'm having to click again because it didn't complete that connection the first time. So here we are at the desktop.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Windows key R, and it's remembering that //owner-PC and enter, and still not letting me get to it. Not accessible. You might not have permission to use this network resource. Contact the administrator. Account restrictions preventing this user from signing in. For example, blank passwords aren't allowed. That was kind of on my mind, but I didn't pursue that yet. So on the old computer, in fact, I started going down this road for creating a new account on the old computer with a password. I could put a password on your existing account, but I think, oh, that's right, we did go down this road because we found that account called Xfer.
Yeah.
And we put a password on it, but it hasn't let me, the new computer hasn't yet let me specify that username.
Okay.
That's where we're getting blocked. So I'm going to try creating a password for your old computer, and I'm just going to keep it simple. This isn't going to be a long-term password for you. So it is Chuck.
Okay.
Violates just about every password guideline there is.
Yeah.
But
Not much security in that name, is there?
no. And particularly since I just announced it over YouTube.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
okay, so now let's see if the new computer will recognize there is a password on the old computer. Yeah, there. So now it's giving us the username of owner, and then type in a password of Chuck. And do I want to remember credentials? No, I'm not going to ask for that because we intend to remove that. So that gives us access to the old computer. So I can go into the C drive here and gain access to it. And we know that that account has access to everything. So I'm going to go and look at, let's see, users, and be sure that I can get into the owners folders. Yes, I can. Okay. And I don't remember if I have to map a network drive letter for Fab's auto backup to reach through the network. So we'll just go find out. I'm back on the new computer, going into Windows Explorer, expand the C drive, expand the SW setup folder, single left click on DougBetts tools, and then go double click on Fab's auto backup for user profiles, double click auto backup 7 Pro, and then launch the program. Let's see. All right. Put in the information that accesses my license. I think I typed that all right. Order information correct, all features unlocked. Accept the agreement. And then transfer data is what we're going to want to do. So the source is the other computer. And it looks to me like I do need to have a drive letter because I don't see a way there to reach through the network. So let's go to, see, I guess I closed that window, didn't I? Go back to owner PC, and then this C drive, I right click on it, choose map network drive. I'll call that the F drive, and I'm not going to reconnect it, sign in. So there, the F drive is accessible from the new computer. Now, this list here, I'll refresh this list, which should give me, oh, it still doesn't give me the F drive.
Hey, Jim, I'm on the conference call and I can't talk right now. I'll call you later. That was my brother.
All right. So, source hard drive or Windows. Oh, wait a minute. This is source. Oh, I'm looking at this wrong, aren't I? Am I? What about Windows directory? Can I go this way? Collapse that. How about going through the network here? And then owner PC. Usually when I'm doing this, I'm actually connecting a hard drive physically to the new computer for faster speed. So here it's letting me log in through the network. So I've got owner PC, and then there's the users folder. So I'll go to the owner folder and click OK. There, that looks like that'll work. And so the source user profile, that's the user profile on this one. Or select transfer data. What am I looking at wrong here? Source hard drive or select Windows directory. So I selected a Windows directory rather than a source hard drive. Source user profile. I don't think it's ROTSR on the old computer. I'm going to go back to the old computer and make sure that's not the name of your profile folder. No, I remember now, your profile folder is called owner.
Owner-PC, wasn't it?
That's the name of the computer, but the name of the user profile is owner. In fact, I have that right here.
Yeah.
But source user, see, target user profile, I want it to be ROTSR. And this is just not gonna let me do it the way I'm expecting. Now, I did do that drive mapping after launching Fab's Auto Backup. So I'm gonna try relaunching Fab's Auto Backup and see if I'll get better results that way. I might wind up having to actually perform the export of the profile from the old computer and then copy that across to the new computer. Let's see, so then okay, remember my license. Still don't have that F drive. I thought for sure I've done this before through the network. What am I missing for that? Now, how about if I use the users folder? Does that give me? Nope. All right, that's enough of that. We'll go back and do it the way that easily works. Just takes a little longer.
There you go.
So go back to the old computer.
Yep.
And go to that, what was it, the tools folder? No, drivers folder, yeah, for DougBetts tools, and then Fab's Auto Backup, and then go into the program. And backup data. So we'll back up the data to a folder on the old computer, then copy that folder across. So the source hard drive is C drive, and the profile name we care about is owner, and we're going to back it up into the DougBetts tools folder in a subfolder that's named by the date and computer name. Well, that's kind of long, so I'm going to change that and just call it old. And then it gives the profile name, so it'll be old/profile name. And then select next. And here's where I can pick the specific things that we want to take. And I typically just take everything and then I'll reduce the selections when we restore to the new computer if we want to reduce them. So I'm just scrolling down to remind myself what all is in here. There's quite a lot of stuff that Fab's Auto Backup can transfer from old computer to the new computer. So then I'll click next, and then this tab is for public data that's on the old computer, and then click next, and then we can add additional folders. So I'm going to expand the C drive and just glance through these folders and see if there's anything there I think that we want to include in this. And I don't recognize anything there that we would care about. Now, interesting, this backup folder. I hadn't looked at that. Let's go look at see what's in that backup folder. Okay, so that's not a Fab's Auto Backup. I thought that might have been a folder containing the Fab's Auto Backup from the last time we did this. So we're not going to take any additional folders. And there's an this next button takes us to backup data to show us everything it's going to do. Files, use VSS is slower, but files that are in use can be copied. We don't really care about that because we don't have files in use. I like to keep folder dates, even though it claims to be slower. I don't really see that that is the case. When finished, we don't want it to do anything. If a file already exists, ask me what to do. And I'm going to change this. It's pretty rare that that happens, but in the case of if there's QuickBooks files involved, it'll happen. So what I'll do on that is say keep newest. I don't care about showing total size before the copy. So now we click launch. So now it's off and running. We're going to end our Zoom session and end the video while this finishes. So this is going to take a while to finish. I'm going to leave the remote connection live so that I can see when it is finished.
Okay.
And then we can reconnect. It may be 20, 30 minutes.
Okay. So the two computers will be, or this will be, they'll be doing their thing, but you and I won't be looking at each other
right
while it's doing it. So
right.
Okay.
And at this point, it's not actually the two computers talking to each other. At this point, it's just the old computer is copying your profile files to a subfolder on its hard drive.
Okay.
And the next phase is we'll copy them across. Now it's just switched to another screen as it's actually starting the process. And this is going to show an estimated remaining files to be copied. So we'll be able to judge the process and see when it's getting close. So this one here says copied size, and down here is remaining. So this is 40 gigabytes remaining, and it's 500, almost 600 megabytes completed. So that gigabyte number is much larger than the megabyte number.
Right.
Even though the digits don't look larger.
Right.
And this does not actually give us a time estimate. But that green bar that's going across, that kind of gives you a feel for how long it's going to be.
Okay. I see that.
All right. So we'll end this video. We'll take a break and we'll come back into another video for our next, when it's ready for the next phase.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
catch you later.
You bet, Doug. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. I just jotted down an item that might make another session at a different topic.
Okay. Good idea. Well, we're back on the recording. So here the Fabs Auto Backup session has completed, and we see here that it's 11:58 that it completed. If I scroll up here to the top, we see it started at 11:18. So that's, let's see, 12 minutes for 42 minutes thereabouts.
Yeah, I think so.
Did I see that right? Close enough. And so the next thing we're going to do is exit from here, and then we're going to copy that exported profile to the new computer. So I'm going to switch back over to the new computer. So before I do that, I want to double check. I believe this computer's on Ethernet. I think they're both on Ethernet. Let's see here. Yes, this one's on Ethernet too. So then I'm going to open the Windows Explorer, and then I'll do the Windows key and the letter E to open another Windows Explorer. And then I'm going to hold down the Windows key and press the right arrow key, which is going to make that window go to the right half of the screen, then let go of the Windows key, and that gives me a choice of open programs to click on to fill up this left half of the screen. So this way I can see those two computers side by side. On the left panel, I see that it's on the F drive. So the right panel, I'm going to select the C drive and maneuver down to that Fabs Auto Backup folder. So I'll double click on SW Setup, double click on, well, actually I'm going to right click on this zip file and delete it because there's no need to leave that hanging around taking up space. So then go into the DougBetts tools and then go into Fabs Auto Backup. And so there's that folder. Then go into the left-hand panel, which is the old computer. I'll go into the drivers folder and DougBetts tools. And then here's this folder called old. So if I double click on that, we can actually drill all the way down to see whatever files are in that profile. And so that's what I want to do, is copy this folder called old to the new computer. Do you need to answer that? Okay. So on the left side, we got the old computer and this folder called old. I'm just going to drag that over to the right side, and that's going to begin the copy operation to copy those files from the old computer to the new computer. And then we're going to have another waiting time. I was contemplating whether this is going to take longer or less time than the Fabs Auto Backup. And so in thinking it through, I realized that, okay, Fabs Auto Backup was copying from the old drive and writing to the old drive. So both of those operations involved the old computer on the old drive. The old drive is certainly slower than the drive on the new computer.
Yeah, it would be.
So now for this copy operation, it's reading from the old drive and then sending it through your network cable to the new computer. So the writing operation can be happening at the same time that the old drive is reading. So it potentially could take less time than the Fabs Auto Backup export took. But this isn't a procedure that I do often enough to really know that for sure. Now this operation is giving us a time estimate of 1 hour and 5 minutes. But that could vary a lot as it goes along. So I wouldn't even dare to place a bet on how long this is going to take. But we have another break.
Oh, okay.
So that was a short session.
Okay, I see that it's only got 23,360, and there's a total of 40 gigabytes that have to be transferred.
Right. Now that 23 number you're looking at, that's items, that's quantity, that's not size.
Right.
The 40 gigabytes is size. So we're both seeing items remaining, and we're seeing gigabytes remaining, because you see that gigabytes number is going down as well.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
I think there was 21,116 items or something.
Yeah, it would have been about the number that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Because Fabs AutoBack actually exported each file as a file. So it should be the same number of items. And up here at the top, we see 24,504 items
Yeah, there it is.
that it's copying.
And it's got 3% copied so far.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
we have another waiting game, don't we?
we do indeed. And I didn't get a chance to have lunch during the last break, so I'm kind of happy to have this break again.
Well, that sounds like a winner to me. I guess in roughly 45 minutes or so, it may be done.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Sounds like a winner.
we'll do another session then.
You got it, Doug.
All right. Catch you later.
You betcha.
Bye.